and I gotta go in vertical mode. Oh my gosh, it don't like work now. Just tried it about 5 times. All right, folks. Guess who's back like jumping jack flash? That's right, me. I'm still alive. So, it starts a firecracker out here. So anyway, I got out about I don't know 3:34, and anyway, I felt worse today. Oh my gosh, it was like I was sliding backwards. But they did some weird junk yesterday that they were gonna send me out about 3. They were like, the doctor says you're out of here like this afternoon. It's like okay, and so uh, they never really got it quite done because the doctor has to put on the computer that to be released and they can take the IV out, and he didn't. So um, there could be different reasons for that. Hey, somebody got a thumbs up for me. Yay, we're on the live today. But I'm hooked up to Wi-Fi. It still won't run, I guess, unless I'm only on Wi-Fi. I don't know what's up with YouTube. Hey, we got 2 people online here. So anyway, hey Roxanne, what's up? So anyway, they were like, just hang out. There's no treatments or anything. So it would just be like a hotel room for the night. So enjoy. I'm like, it's not gonna be a problem or anything. Like the police aren't coming or anything. And they're like, nah, because I knew the bill was covered 100%. Because they did some special thing when I came in, oddly enough, which was really great. Made me feel so good because I don't like any debts or bills. Um, I know a lot of people love to go to the emergency room anytime they feel like it, but I don't. I don't like debts or bills with anybody for any reason. So it's just like my business. I own my business outright. I never put loans out to get anything. And that's just the way I like it. Just like my cars, I own them outright. So, although I'm sure missing those caddies from Cadillac and Memphis because I get three months no down payment and all that good stuff. But so anyway, doctor came in this morning, and last night they run all that crap. Boy, come nightfall, they were running the breathing stuff. They were taking my vitals and going on about every 2 hours, like they do 24 hours a day. And they did disconnect the heart thing, all that, where they plug you all in like with 10 things on your chest. They did disconnect that yesterday. Um, but I was kind of wondering, on that last X-ray they did the other day, because they must have X-rayed me probably 60 times while I've been in there, and so because I was kind of concerned because they, when I first come in, they said they couldn't see my lungs because they thought maybe there was, an infection that they couldn't see because they were blinded because of the thickness of the stuff, which was solid white. Let me tell you, solid white in my lungs. That's really bad, and that was the problem I was having. I couldn't breathe. I got out of the car that one day, and uh, I uh, I made about 4 steps. I was going to go in the gym to take a shower, and then see how I felt, and then go to the hospital. And I thought this is a really dumb idea because it'll take 10 hours for my hair to dry, and if I use a hair dryer, it just destroys it. It's just really hard on your hair, and so I thought, and then if I go on air conditioning and my hair's still not dry, 3 or 4 hours later, then I'm just going to get worse. And so I said, forget it. I only made 4 steps outside of the car and almost collapsed. And I was like, man, I felt like I was 100 years old. And I said, I better just deadhead to the hospital now, which was a very good move. I wished I'd have gone even an hour earlier than that. Um, so, um, anyway, and I guess I never got to see what was in my lungs, if there was anything, a mass or anything. They were concerned about, he said, an infection that they couldn't see because of all the goog in my lungs. It might be blinding them from seeing it, or possibly a mass of some sort. and I never heard anything about that. They were very bleak, like yesterday is when I started asking questions, you know, and I was like, okay, so because I kept mentioning COPD, and talking like I had COPD, and I said, well, I mean, so yesterday I'm like, do I have COPD? Because nobody's ever told me I had COPD, and they're like, no, and then I said, okay, so like, am I dying in a month? That was the biggest fear I had was I got so deathly ill, and I've been so sick in the last 2 years alone, that I'm like, if this party's over, you know, leading the good life. Don't drink, don't do drugs, and all the kids are gone from home, I should be able to have a life. But, so, I was like, they're going to tell me some really bad crap. And oddly enough, no. So, I've had some cancer in my back on my spine since I was real, real young. And they were like, don't worry about it unless it like starts really growing, and then we'll just like cut it out. So I don't know any more about that. Maybe that's already gone because I've taken shark cartilage for years. And so anyway, uh, I don't smoke. I don't know where you get that. I don't smoke. But so anyway, I don't smoke nothing. Not weed, not crap. A lot of people go, well, I don't smoke, but they smoke weed. I don't do that either. I hate it. But anyway, no drinking, no drugs. So anyway, I have asthma for many, many years, since I left California. And I really believe it's because I left California. I'd have probably been fine if I'd never left California. But, uh, yeah, so. No, I don't smoke. Uh-uh. I've smoked on and off for a lot of years, and I'll go in and out, and it's just a shitty habit. I hate it. So always have. So yeah, no, and it's expensive. Yep, it's an expensive way to die. But yeah. So anyway, a lot of it's because of boondocking in the car. It just steals your health away. It steals your life. It'll age you terrible. It just steals your life away. But uh, but yeah. So anyway, I the doctor was kind of playing this morning, so I knew he did that crap on purpose yesterday. Um, because he was like, I'll think about it, and so I knew he was playing around this morning because he had witness standing there, and he's like, well, he's like, it was my fault that you didn't get out yesterday. He said, but I got to be careful with protocol because they'll watch me, so I can't afford to make mistakes. And I'm like, oh yeah, no problem. So he's like, if you uh, uh, if you take him, um, if you want to go today, I said, yeah, that's fine. I mean, if we're done, I said, it's funny because they started everything back up last night. Hey, everybody. Good to see everybody at Paranormal Gaming Wayne. Roxanne's here. Everybody's here. The gang's all here. Thank you for joining. So anyway, it's been lonely up in that room. It was nice, though, to be human again instead of be like a damn dog. That's the way it makes you feel in the car. You just feel like just a piece of crap dog. And if you tell anybody that you're homeless in the car, they treat you like trash. It's just a thing they do. They just automatically just think you're trash. And thanks, but I'm not trash. I have 5 college degrees, $31,000 worth of education in my brain that I paid for, and trust me, I'm not trash. It's just, a lot of things have transpired since the pandemic. I blame about 70% of it on the pandemic, and then I blame the rest on one person. And they know who they are. But anyway, but such is life. You have to plow on forward. That's all that matters. You can't just, sit dormant. You've got to try. And I try 200%. That's the problem. I'm just wearing myself out. But it's the only thing I know. You know what I mean? That's all I know is to try even more. Can't give up. I just wish my car was doing better, because uh, I could get back on the road and work and pull a ton of money and would not much problem at all, because that's what I do. Address entertainers. That's what I do. And I've got plenty of stock right now. Plenty of run stock. Lots. Just shoes alone. And shoes alone, I've got probably 3 grand in shoes alone that I could sell so quickly without even having to run rack. But everything's all mixed them up in the storages. I would have to get my run bags and then, pack the shoes. And the run bags are in one storage and shoes are in another. And then all the new shoes I created, they're high dollar. But, I could run those out in about 24 hours and pick a city. Pick a city. And I thank the grace of God for the phone. And because that really scared the poop out of me. Plus, they didn't want to release me without a phone. Because they told me, if you have any more problems, please don't hesitate to come back. I said, really? And they said, yeah. So I was kind of surprised to come at this day because I was going right down backwards again today. I don't know why. Maybe because they skipped everything during the day and started all the treatments back up at night. They didn't put me on the oxygen last night. So that was the only night I didn't have the oxygen. Because I've been on oxygen since I got there. And that was another concern, which was hard to deal with because, I had a stuffy nose, couldn't breathe through my nose, and it keeps bleeding and stuff. And they think some of that bleeding after the first time it just blew up like I was going to die right there in bed. They think it might have been constricting the vessels from the oxygen treatments or something. I don't know. So, anyway, my nose is like half clear now. And my lungs are about 3/4 clear now. I choked some stuff up today in chunks out of my lungs. So I'm not sure what that's all about. But, it could be from the car. There could be black mold in this car. The other day I found 2 pieces of paper with black mold on them. Tossed them in. I was like, damn it. Because you can't be around that. That would kill you. So I may have, been breathing that and messed me up too. Um, so the car really needs to be emptied out and cleaned, washed down with Lysol, and dried out for the day and start over. Every bit of it needs to be just totally stripped everything out of it. Um, but I really can't do that right now. But so um, uh, they came in to take all my food orders because they have a waitress sometimes that comes in and they wanted to serve me and do my breakfast thing. And I said, I think I'll be leaving today. I said, but um, I said, I'll go ahead and book the breakfast and lunch. And then I'm thinking, and tried to bring me dinner right before I left. And I probably should have tried to take it to go. That's probably what I should have done because I'm sure it was already billed to the room. But I didn't want to be a jerk. So, but anyway, so all of a sudden, I'm just finishing up eating. And then all of a sudden, this lady comes in and somebody else, and they were with a wheelchair and like already going. I said, well, wasn't quite ready to go. I was trying to get my hair dry and finish eating real quick before I go out or anywhere in the building. But it's okay. So I'd already pulled the room down, got all the dirty towels and sheets in one spot, so that would save them the trouble. And I was pretty well packed up. So um, uh, I thought we were going to go to the counter so I could check out, but no, they got to take me to another building, to some other place, and there's like 4 people ahead of me. I'm like, what the hell? Because they were telling me, oh, don't worry, we have a waiting room. I said, well, I don't need any waiting room. I said, let's just go through whatever I need to have copies of before I go for all my treatments that I had and everything. So I have that for my files. And then if they're giving me any prescriptions, I got to see if they don't forget my amoxicillin for my skin, for my lifetime illness. It's incurable. And then my asthma medicine, because The one doctor was really upset. The first doctor, Dr. Smith, he was real upset that, I was prescribed asthma medicine, back in the 90s, late 90s, and then, I haven't had really any since. And he was real concerned about that. And you can't buy it at Walmart anymore. You used to be able to buy a kit at Walmart for about $35. And they stopped that a few years back. And so it was like, damn it, because you got to pay $300 to go to a doctor, and then you got to go buy the prescription, and it's like $80 for a freaking inhaler, I think. And I was like, damn. So anyway, they, I want to make sure that stuff was on there before I left because it's a pain in the butt to try to call back and get them to do it. And so, because I've tried that before. And so they promise you the world on a stick and it doesn't happen. So anyway, they played some games up there. They took two people that came in way after the rest of us, and it was supposed to be, who in the order received. So I don't know how that scam was done, but anyway, the rest of us were kind of fried, and I was the next one up. That was the saddest part. And so anyway, they finally got to me, and she pulled the doctor's, and then she read off the prescriptions they wanted to give me. Which one is a decongestant thing, I forget what they call it, some blue pills. Thank God they didn't give me painkillers. I hate those suckers. I will not take them. Oh, I hate them. And but anyway, so they did have the asthma inhalers on there, and more than one. And then they had this stuff that's supposed to help keep decongesting me for my nose and my lungs, some kind of stuff, and I don't know what else. I'll have to look at it again, but they did have everything kind of intact and quite a bit of it. The problem is I can't afford it, but there's a church and caring and sharing, and I'll check with them because they've always asked me every time I go over there, which is rare. I only go when it's like way too late to go. Um, I don't like to use public services for any reason. There's other people need it way more than me, I feel. You know what I mean? So I uh every time I would go to caring and sharing, um they'd say, you have any drugs that need to be renewed or whatever, and I'm like, no, I don't have all this stuff. And so I'm not like other people. They have miles of crap they got to take for their life. I don't have all that. I've led a pretty healthy life, pumping iron and eating good and all that stuff, and not partying or any of that kind of crap. I had my party life before I had my kids. There was no one to be responsible for anybody but me. And so I did that. And I never had to go to rehab or any of that other crap. I've never had a drunk driving or any crap like that. Never lost my license. So, I was a good girl. And I earned my time to have my pretty cars, my toy cars. Definitely earned it. And I'm glad I got them, way after I was of age because then I had less trouble with the law. And they respected me. And I drove them pretty civilly. So I was glad of that. And the insurance is cheaper. It's way cheaper. So the older you get. But anyway, so um, I I guess I left the room about 2, something like that. And God, I think I got out of there about 3:30 or 4, waiting around, and till they could process my stuff. But the girls processed me out in like 6 minutes. Boom. And I got copies of everything. And they were like, "So your ride?" And I'm like, "What ride?" And they're like, "Well, when does your ride come?" And I said, well, are they saying I have to have a driver? Because I drove here. My car is here. It's been here for days if it's still here. And I said I haven't seen it lately, but uh, it's been just sitting here parked, and I hope it starts when I get ready to leave. So anyway, she got me processed out. Then we had to wait for somebody to come up with a wheelchair and come get me. And they wheel you out just to the front door kind of thing. They won't take you to your car or any of that. But so I got out of there, and God, it was so hot outside for me. Because I've been air cooled, not real cold, but air cooled, for a week now. So I'm living a human life in a flatbed, with central heat and air, and 3 meals a day, which I'm not used to either because I eat one time a day or every other day because money's tough. So, uh, I was just concerned because I felt like I was sliding backwards and I felt so damn crappy today. I was just like, damn, like a ton of bricks. But they still tested me and gave me breathing treatments all the way till when I left. Um, and so, but I'm glad the bill's paid. Yay. So I'm sure that bill was huge, just huge for me. Um, but yeah. So uh, I remember I had my first kid. It was $250 a day for nursery and $500 a day for me, and I was there almost 4 weeks. And I had a big surgery. It was over $100K just for that, and freaking didn't get. But I don't even think I had one bath there, and I was like, that's a crappy hotel. You can't even get one bath. But yeah, so anyway, there was no like bad news today. I thought they were gonna tell me something terrible, like, well, you got cancer, you know, or your lungs are trashed, or you're gonna die in 30 days or something. I thought they were gonna tell me something really bad because these two doctors are so bland, you know. I mean, you could see them thinking, like clocking in the brain, so I was scared to say much because I wanted to hear what they had to say, you know. And then I was scared to ask because I may not like the answer, you know what I mean? So, but I started asking questions yesterday because I had so many times where they're going, well, you have COPD, so, and I'm like, okay, so, I mean, where did that come from? Because that's not in my records. It's never been told to me, and nobody's, like, assigned that to me while I've been here, so I don't know why we keep saying COPD. And then, I said they did 2 corona tests in a 3-hour period. That's $1,000 a test. In one day, in a 3-hour period, they did 2 corona tests. They both came up negative. But I didn't know that till recently because I'm like, did they come up positive? Did they come up negative? Um, and because I was pretty sure I got hit with a damn corona again. And see, I've already had it 3 times. It's like, I don't know how many more times you can get it because, it just sucks the life out of you and it damages you every time you get hit with that crap. And the last one I got hit with was the newer one where it comes up like a cold and then it just takes you down like a ton of bricks and it lasts for weeks. And it's really horrible. If you think the other ones are bad, try that new one. So, and I've had the shots and everything. So, you can still get it. It's just the shots are to keep you from dying, supposedly. That's about all the guarantee you get. Well, you probably won't die. So, so far I'm still alive. But anyway, so yeah, and then they kept saying, well, you have oxygen at home, right? When you use oxygen, I said I've never had oxygen at home. And two, I had to tell them I'm homeless in the car, because they'd say crazy stuff, and it's like, look, let me explain something to you. I don't carry oxygen in the car, and I don't know how safe that would be. I believe that would be ultimately dangerous if you got in a wreck. It would probably blow up. I don't know that that's a possibility. But they're like, oh, and I'm like, you ask all this stuff like, do I have it? I mean, they keep going on and on with all this stuff, which is really scary. Um, and you're wondering where they're getting it from. Now, I did talk to somebody in the hospital that said they read my file and said I had COPD on my file. And I said, is that right? Nobody's ever diagnosed me with that. And you can get COPD from chemical exposure to chemicals and stuff, like in factories, which I've worked a couple factories, and two, like in construction. And then I had a house next door to us that they were stripping all the damn, what is it, that that poisonous crap off the house, and they were banging it off the house instead of having somebody come out with suits, hazmat suits, and all that to get it off. I forget what you call that stuff. And they were doing it open air right next to my house, like 30 feet away. And I was really concerned about that with my daughter and I both, because it's highly cancerous, and it just blows in the wind, And there's concerns in my life of things I've been exposed to. that would create something like that, or give me cancer, or give me damage. But I guess I'm okay because I mean I can't tell you how many X-rays they've probably done on me, maybe 50 or 60 in a week, of my upper body. Wish they had hit the lower body so we could just make sure we got the total overhaul. You know what I mean? If we're gonna go for the physical, let's do it because I've never had one. Um, but it's okay. I think I got my money's worth there for real. Everybody's pretty nice. It wasn't the greatest hospital in the world. It was slightly above Compton out at Carson City. It was slightly above that from years ago. Um, but everybody was pretty decent except for one person. And I was asked to report that like 3 times, and I wouldn't do it. I was just going to let it ride. Um, and and then one of the higher staff came to me and said, we want to see how your visit has been. And I was like, well, it's been quite nice. And they're like, you sure? And I said, well, obviously you've probably talked to a couple people. Yep. I said, they did mention to me that I should report it, and I really didn't want to do it, and I was just going to let it ride. But because all in all, my visit, they were really pretty good because I was like the dead. They really straightened me out a lot the first day. It was hard to believe in hours how they worked on me, worked on me, worked on me to get me to the point where I could kind of breathe, even though I was on oxygen because I was in bad shape, man. It took me about 25 minutes just to get from the car to the emergency room door because I could only go so far and stop. And I probably should have called to have them come get me at the car. But, I'm like one of those kind of people, that's stubborn and goes, I'll do it all by myself, which I should have never done because I probably could have collapsed out there and died in short order. Because I am a heart patient untreated. I've had one heart attack in my life many years ago and drove myself to the hospital after I got off work. Um, yeah. And I jumped the gun because I had a court hearing across the states I needed to be at, and I wasn't going to be late. And so I just like split, and I could have like got medicines and all that stuff to make sure I'd be okay, but I was like, no, I'll do it later. So I jumped and split. And so in the meantime, I've been careful all these years and survived that. I just try to stay calm and not get excited and watch what I eat and all that kind of thing. I got 3 thumbs up, yay. So that hopefully I can override it myself because I'm very big on not that fake doctor thing, whatever it is. I forget what they call it. My neighbor was into that stuff where they never go to a doctor and they just believe in like home remedy or something. I'm not so much like that. I'm just a health food freak. I'm very funny about what I eat. I really hate drive-through food. It's trashy. It's full of sugar. Um, I really like to eat healthy. I mean, to me, a holiday is like going to get a bag of lettuce and some things to throw in there and pour a bunch of cold dressing on there and just eat it with a fork. I really love that. That's like eating birthday cake to me. Um, and I can go for like Ritz crackers and some nice sharp cheddar cheese, and I make a whole meal out of that. That's just I love stuff like that. Sailor's food, stuff we used to eat on the boat. Um, and I love a good prime rib, mashed potatoes and gravy and all that stuff. So I'm real funny about what I eat. I just won't eat anything. Somebody got me. They call it a wrap, and when you say wrap, you would think that's burrito, but trust me, it's not. Um, that's some weird stuff. That is about the most worthless thing I've ever eaten in my life. And I used to have to make those in the deli too. And they're real pretty to make and all that and slice them up and all that cute stuff. But that's some junk. I don't know how you people eat that stuff. That is ridiculous. But somebody got me one this week and it was like, ugh! And I was starving, but man, what a terrible thing to eat. I'd just rather not eat. It was like I don't know, like a turkey wrap kind of sandwich thing that they roll up in a purple burrito and stuff, and it was just like gross. That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. A little tiny tube, they cut it in half and they put some stuff in there. That's dumb. But I don't like white bread either. White sugar, white death, man. I just don't do. Weber's bread is old and done. Dude, man, I freaking didn't even eat that when I lived with my dad. Yuck. But the only white bread I really like is like sourdough, homemade sourdough. Oh my god, I love sourdough. If you knew what that was made out of, that's like made out of straight fungus. I didn't find that out 2 years later. Wraps are okay. What does it say? Wraps are okay. God, I don't like it. I think it's a waste of money. It's trash. I don't like it. But and I like Mexican food. I would eat a bean and cheese burrito and enjoy it way more than a wrap. But but yeah, so I just don't eat food like that. I just don't. Um, uh, so I'm really funny about what I eat. You know, if I died tomorrow, I would know that I ate something I liked and it was good for me. I'm just funny like that. You know, they always say you are what you eat. Well, I hope I am. But yeah, so I was really surprised because I had a bunch of jobs that I was hired for. 3 jobs I was literally hired for. Did security clearance, everything, background check, the whole deal. And I'll be damned, no schedules. And I applied for some other ones while I was up there, and then some 2 other ones that I was really interested in getting that the doctor was telling me about. And I wanted to jump on that while I was on the Wi-Fi. And so I got that taken care of. Thank God. Um, that might have been why he let me ride another day on that so-called accident. Because when we were talking about it, he said, you definitely need to do that. You would do very well with that. And I was like, really? So, I did it. The problem was there wasn't much available. But I got some notification this morning. And so they've got me in the system. So that's way cool. But I'm hired for 3 right now. I'm supposed to be working. And they haven't done poopy doo. But it's all right. I still got all these other jobs I applied for, like 45 others. And then the new other jobs I applied for, like 6 of them in the last 24 hours. And so the problem is, right now, we have just left the uh, um, tourist season. It's over. And so it's going to be very difficult to get work. Very, very, very difficult. So, yeah. It's not like I can leave and go to out of state or anything right now. That got some concerns about the car. I took it to the mechanic the other day. I guess like the day before I went in the hospital. When I went to go help my friend that was in that car wreck, and I went out there to go get the car going for him, and that we didn't get that accomplished. I was out there 2 days, totally wasting my time, and I need to be doing my own thing, with jobs and everything else. And I was trying to help a friend, and they just, I guess didn't take it very serious. My time's limited. If I've come to help you, hop to it, man. Because I got things I have to do. They have a whole house. I'm living in my car. I've got to strive to improve my situation. So I'm about $5,000 away from that. You know what I mean? So, and I don't even know if I want to even rent here. A lot of stuff's coming up for rent, and the rents are getting lower. But I just don't know that I want to rent here. Uh, and it's one of my favorite places in all of the United States. That's why I brought my youngest daughter here, was to share that with her because it's very livable. It's like where I grew up in California. It's easy to deal with, and it's a nice, happy place. And the beach is right here, and you don't have to drive hours and pay $20 parking and all that stuff. It's just right there. So, let's see. Now, what about the oxygen situation? I don't know. I don't know. And rental assistance, well, that's not going to do me any good. You have to have revenue. And even to get in welfare apartments, you have to have a job and all that other stuff because it's not free. Trust me. Now, if I was disabled or Social Security or any other crap, which I'm not, I don't have any of those things. And I'm not a vet and any of that other bull crap. That's another problem with you know, for people hiring you, these companies are really geared towards taking all these messed up people, you know, that are retarded and handicapped and social security and disabled and vets, because they pay 3/4 of their pay per hour. The government will pay for them to uh, um, employ you. And so they would rather get that person or five people like that than pay somebody like me who gets full pay, because I don't have all those things that they can deduct off the government and get paid for. So that's how it's turned. Years ago, you didn't want to put damages like I've got injured knees or messed up back or any of that, you know, because they wouldn't hire you. You know, they go, no. And now it's like they want to hire you the more jacked up you are. So, I mean, which is good for, a lot of people, especially like there's a guy that has like no hands that works at Hobby Lobby in Destin, Florida. And he's really got great spirits and he's a hard worker, and you should see him work. It's amazing. And I was just blown away waiting in line, and he's just checking stuff out just like a regular checker, like it's not even hindering. And real good spirits and everything. I was like, man, this is a blessing. And everybody in the world should see that. They should see that at checkout. I'm glad they don't hide them back there trying to stalk or something, because people should appreciate what they have. You should thank the grace of God that you can walk on two legs. You should thank the grace of God you have two hands and two arms. You should thank the grace of God that you're not blind, that you're not deaf. There's a lot of things you could thank God for, because there's always somebody worse off than you. You're blessed to wake up every day. Trust me. I didn't believe it till I got about halfway through my life, and I went, man, actually, it's a miracle that woke up today, for whatever reason, whether it's war or health or anything. Um, I went to a really treacherous marriage for many, many years, and it was treacherous when I went to divorce. I was the one that wanted the divorce. I was the one that paid for the divorce, and it had to go to Supreme Court. No lie, my divorce is on Supreme Court on the computer. You believe that crap? But I was bound and determined. One, because I found out what he was doing illegally with the car lots, and I literally have proof. I still to this day have the proof. And so, um, uh, I had a great fear because my youngest daughter was under 18, and I'm the only parent able to take care of her. So, um, I didn't want to go to the federal pen over him if he rolled over and played dead before me, because his health was incredibly bad. He was on like a second pacemaker. They were not going to give him another pacemaker, so I knew that. But he was older than me, and he got worse every year, and I think he was having dementia set in too, because I had a doctor friend of mine tell me that. They're like, yeah, Franklin's got dementia. I'm like, oh, well, but dementia can be dangerous. They trip out. But anyway, I did my best job to stay away from him. I just told him nicely. I said, you're a meat eater. You don't belong married, and it's cool. No problem. You know, I'm not fighting over any man. I got news. There's lots of men out there in the world. If I need one, I'll go get one. But I'm not gay either. It's just, it's really hard to change people. And I wasn't willing to get AIDS and then die from it, so I wouldn't be able to raise my child. Um, and because she was like, what, 8 years old, something like that. And so, I have to look at the future, so I'm a responsible parent. And then, I also didn't want to go to the federal pen for what he was doing. If he rolled over and played dead, I didn't want any of that shit to come back on me, guaranteed. Okay? Because, they can't prosecute a dead person. And if they decide to come after me because I was his wife, um, and the business was predominantly his, um, you know, thank God I never signed paperwork on selling a car. Thank God. I wanted to learn how to do that processing, but thank God. Because, I didn't want to, leave my daughter astray, being in the pen over some bullcrap from a previous marriage. So I was bound and determined to get the divorce. It wasn't Cadillacs and fur coats. Trust me, I go buy my own. Okay, I go buy my own. Always have, always will. So I've only had one Cadillac ever bought for me, and I ended up selling it to pay for that guy's funeral. That's right. I sold a brand new Cadillac to pay for the man that bought me the car's funeral. Such is life, but it's all right. So, and I don't know why this clown has got to sit here. They're probably sitting here texting with their headlights on me. Like, really? So, anyway, but yeah, dude, you're like blinding me. Go. People are so stupid with these phones nowadays. We didn't have these when I was a kid. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm get rebates from the government. Yeah. So anyway, um, man, these glasses are acting broken too. I found two pairs of glasses today, so I didn't have to go to the store. And these glasses are acting bad. But anyway, I had two orders I got shipped out today. Yay for eBay. Thank the Lord. So these people don't have to wait half past never. Because I've got the store on delay, on vacation mode, which is really terrible. It's amazing people even order, but most of the time they don't even read that stuff. So I like to ship right away, but you know how things are going. All the storages are due, and they've already accrued 20% late charges twice this month now. Ugh. And I've got to get something done before the first, and I'm marking stuff down constantly. I have $35,000 in retail stock online right now. And if I can't pull about 2 or 3,000 out of that son of a gun, I don't know what to tell you. It's terrible to have to mark it down like that. But again, I don't like the sell through rate. It takes too long with the used clothes. I would much rather stay with the really high end collector stuff of used clothes, which I've got some of those pieces too. But I can't wait to get a lot of that stuff sold off. And then get, all this other stuff I've got to get listed and sold off. That way I won't have to move it, because I'm going to go through all the storages and pull what I can without pulling all of Showgirl and all my sewing stuff, if I can save it all. So that's where we're at, because I'm going to get reduced down enough to where I can load everything in a U-Haul and then tow the car behind, and go from there. I don't want to have to pack up every bit I have. I had the option to pack up every bit I had. My brother wanted to pay, so I go back to California, and I was like, no. I just don't see a future really back home in California. I mean, I can do it, but I'm just, it's so expensive. And it's like $10K to move into a place back home, if not higher. It's insane. Most of the rents are $5,000 for a bachelor pad, for welfare apartment. How do you have a welfare apartment at $5,000? You know what I mean? So my storages are okay now. No, they're behind. Everything's locked up. They are behind. So, yep, not a good thing. I need my eBay one, and that one's already got 20% hits on it. That's not a good thing. Not a good thing at all. It's going to be real interesting. But I can bail that one out and be just in operation with that until I get the other ones done. But I've got to work really fast. I do have an ulterior motive, and that is I can try to go buy this hip hop crap that's all coming back in style. Okay, the 80s, 90s stuff, because I know that stuff really, really, really well. Easy peasy, don't have to look it up, nothing. I know it by heart. I know what it is, and because I know fashion really, really well. And that's what my friend Dixon's Pickens on YouTube and stuff. That's what he's been doing. And he's $1 million seller on eBay. And let me tell you, he's so pissed off at eBay, just like the rest of us. All of our stores are running like 47% below right now. So my store, which is not even close to $1 million store, and two other $1 million sellers, we're all running the same pace. So they've screwed eBay up so bad, I think, from the updates is the problem. I think it's jacked all of eBay up. I think people are having trouble making purchases and stuff on eBay. I think they've really clowned it around a lot because they've been beating on that site, redoing stuff like every day for like 6 months. And I think they really trashed up the server. I really believe that. Because they've got, you know, all that hip hop stuff and their crap's not even moving any more than mine is. And so I sell high end, you know, the Chanel and you know the Ralph Lauren and you know the Tommy Bahamas and all that kind of crap, Fitch and all that junk and leather stuff and all that kind of thing. And so you know, I think they screwed eBay up bad. Um, a lot of sellers are quitting; they've had enough. But used clothes is really long tail. You know, unless you have something primo. Like I went into a store one day and bought a T-shirt for $1, as I knew the company, the old skateboard company, and you know I knew all that stuff from California because I was a surfer and all that. I skateboarded and everything, and I knew skateboards and designed my own, built my own, and all that crap. And I picked up this shirt in a store over here for $1 one day, just because I knew what it was. I didn't know exactly how good it was till I looked it up. And it was the predecessor to Tony Hawk. The two separate guys that went in to become Tony Hawk. And so I picked up this shirt going, damn, this shirt's like really old, like from the 80s. And it was in real nice shape. Paid $1 for it. And the shirt's worth $300. Yep, $300. People buy this stuff. You believe that? So it's collector stuff. They collect it. And so anyway, you know, I was really excited about that. So I don't mind staying into stuff like that where it might take a little time to sell. But all in all, a lot of this used stuff, you know, it generally will never sell before 3 months. And it can go 6 months, 9 months, and then a year, and then you're discounting it off, you know, at a year to get rid of it. Okay? So I don't like long tail. In my business, nothing is long tail. Nothing is long tail in my business. I wouldn't keep it if it was long tail. My stuff sells, and I can't make enough of it. Okay? I cannot make enough of it. I can't tell you how many times I've been on road and completely run out of inventory. And I remember when I used to load, you know, 6 giant, heavy bags in the back of the Cadillac, and then also bring 3 in the back seat. Okay? And I'd have to go to hotels because I had to empty the car out to pull my stock out, and then you pay for the car, you pay for your stuff. But I mean, I can't tell you the times that I actually literally, I remember 2 trips I came down here and I ran out of everything coming from Memphis. Everything in only like 3 days. Everything. Yeah. And it was like, damn. So my business is sell through, and that's what I'm used to. So I don't like, to me, it's a bad investment. If it doesn't sell, it's a bad investment. And then, you know, when you get into where, you know, you're storing it and stuff, you're paying storages, then, you know, unless I had a huge house again, I would have to pay storage to house the stuff, and, you know, that's costs. And so, you know, who wants to pay storage to house the crap, especially if the shelter's long like that? To me, that's a waste. You know, I want sell through. I want that crap to go, like the old days of eBay, where I was shipping three times a day every day, and I'd you know, like fill the trunk and run down the post office with my kid, and we were shipping 3 times a day every day like that. So, because I like to pack it up, ship it as soon as they order it, man. So, and today my ratings are the best they've ever been, being on eBay in my lifetime. It is so easy for me to have really good ratings today than it was years ago. Maybe because there's less scammers and idiots. I don't know. Maybe it's price difference. maybe. I do know that today a lot of sellers have trouble if it sells for anything less than $30. You get some pretty trashy customers, and I can believe that. Um, but I don't sell cheap stuff. That's the thing. It's not worth me breathing. It's not worth me photographing. It takes so long to make one ad and put 30 pictures up, really good pictures. And write the ad and price it. Research the pricing all over the internet, 5 different places to get a good, adequate price and a price for the season. Because the retail price of an item on eBay changes all year round, and it can change forever. Like last year, you had jeans that went $100 all day long, easy. The Miss Me jeans, all day long, and today they're going for about 45. So they're not coming back up, not at this point. And so it changes all the time. So um, you have to trying to charge my Jackery battery while we're sitting here. Make sure the car's still started. So, because I'm gonna turn it off now. But yeah. So, I'm just not into that long tail sell through. God, dog. It's too much work, and it sits too long. It's just too much for me. I'd rather be at work dressing entertainers, and that's the bad part. If I get back to work dressing entertainers, then I'm not working any jobs, which is good. I hate working for other people because I like working for me. I mean, I work for me, but I work for the club owners and managers and stuff. But I know my business, so I know how to act. I know what to do. And I'm not going to say there's 10 tons of clubs because a lot of them have closed through the years. And I still have the whole United States to run. Um, so if you have a bad time in one place, just go to the next place. But yeah. So I do love my business. Always have, always will. I love creating the clothes. It's my pride and joy. I love making Liberace type clothes, for people. Really, I do. It's the love of my life, and I have the supplies to do it. So, but at this point, we got to deal with what we got. So, um, I have to have something that's part time or better, which I mainly seek for full time because I like money, and to support the storages and my overhead at this point. And then everything else is, you know, pocket money kind of thing. So, but yeah, Dixon is banging. He's going, and he's going to the bins, and he's picking up um, like 100, 150 items, runs them out in about 2 hours on whatnot, and he just started doing this stuff. So it's unreal how well he's doing, and he's averaging about 600 plus per show, and I'd like to be right there. You know what I mean? So, and generally starting on dollar bits, but see, he carries different products than I do. He's doing all that hip hop crap, you know. It's really big right now. Graphic shirts, hip hop, you know. Um, I can't think of the name of that other stuff. Carhartt's real big right now, and it doesn't make a difference if it's trashed or what. People will buy it all day long. Stained, used, tore up, buying it all day long. And so, used. Yeah. So, I would like to attempt one of those. Um, yeah, he's on Whatnot, Dixon's Pickens. And he'll run about a 2 hour show. And he has 100 to 150 items. And he's doing 600 plus. Yep, 600 plus a show. And he's happy as hell. He's like, I am so glad. He's like, I'm so done with eBay. He said, because this stuff sells. He said, I like it much better on sell-through. Well, hell yeah, me too. I don't, that's what I don't like. That's all this long tail crap. It's just too much. Now, he had his store up to like 8,000 or 9,000 pieces or something. Might have been 10K. And so he has like a pretty good sized warehouse. But the problem is you're paying eBay to have that many listings per month. I think it's like 300 a month for that many. That's money right there. And then he was paying to list it on other platforms, so he's paying about 100 something a month there. And then he's got to pay the storage rent for his warehouse, and that's probably about 500 a month. And see, all this comes out of your income, your revenue. Um, so those are costs. But if you had sell through, then you don't have to babysit so much. You don't need as big a place, and the stuff sells, and you're chasing to try to stock up. So right now he's chasing to stock up to sell and whatnot for all his shows every week. And then he's also very deep within the church. It's like the only time he has off is to source, at the bins for an hour or two, and then the rest of the time is a few days at the gym, and the rest of the time is all church. So he's very, very, very devoted to the church. Matter of fact, he opened another channel on YouTube. In about a week, he already had like 5K subs. You know how many? You know how long it took me to get 1,000 subs so I could get monetized in all the minutes? Like 3 years. And I was vlogging every day. I have like over 4,000 vlogs on this channel. It was a lot of work. A lot of work to get there. Now they've changed the requirements on YouTube to where they're almost nothing. I think it's like 300 subs, and a whole lot less minutes, and that makes me mad. But he opened a Christian channel that's just skyrocketing. It's the last time I looked, his Christian channel was equivalent in subs to his eBay channel that he does on YouTube. And then I think he's closed his Patreon and all that stuff down, or he does very little on it because he used to teach sellers. But I don't think he even does that teaching anymore. Because when Bo decided to bail out, I think that's when he stopped doing it. But yeah, so no, he's got way more. If you go look on his Christian channel, that sucker, he's got probably 15K subs. And but see, he does more vlogs for that channel than he does for YouTube now. 4K watch hours. Goddamn, let me tell you, it was so hard for me to get monetized. I busted butt. But yeah, and it's a shame they didn't change it back, because see, when I first signed up, they all of a sudden changed it. And it was real easy to get YouTube going monetized before, because it was like 200 subs and not many minutes and all that crap. And God, they made all these hefty requirements, and it was like, crap, it'll take forever. So I was vlogging every day. I would do car shows. I did anything. I vlog about anything. And everybody was busy going, you should only keep your YouTube in one kind of thing. And all that. It's like, the hell with you. I vlog every day. I'll vlog a 30-second vlog. If I feel it's vloggable, I'll vlog that sucker. I do funny stuff. I do all kinds of stuff. I do cars, all kinds of things. And happy thoughts, kind things that people do for people. And I just vlog about anything. And that's how I got to where I'm at. But I really enjoyed doing the car shows down in mid-Florida. That was really cool. I think I did 35 vlogs when we went down there for the free play and then the car shows. And that was really fun. I really enjoyed that. But, I haven't had a whole lot of time to do a lot of that stuff. Plus, I've been so sick. The past year I've not been feeling good. So, and my lifestyle is terrible. I mean, it's really a negative thing, and it's not healthy, and, it's very damaging. It just strips your gears. So, it'd be nice if I can live human again. There's some people that like it, not me. I don't like it. I'm not used to it at all. My idea of roughing is a room at the Hilton. I'm not a camper type person, you know what I mean? Definitely not that. But that's just not my speed. And I miss my pretty clothes and everything else. I don't like to dress just like a bum, like I'm going to the gym every day or something. It's just not me. But yeah, so I'm trying to brush my hair out some more. God, it was up to my shoulders. It was so matted up. Ugh, you couldn't get a brush for your life in that place. And so it may take a little while to get this hair straightened out. I got about half of it straightened out, but it's still like a sheepdog. Oof. But I got it back down to my waist again. Got really long hair. But yeah, so I thought I was going to have to cut it off. I'm so destroyed from the hospital. No, I'm not that. I'm trying to brush my hair. No. Can I get a... Can you get a hair? I don't want to cut my hair. My hair's down to my butt. I was just hoping I didn't have to cut it off because it's so knotted up. But I got about half of it out today. It's taking hours. You just have to be real patient with it and careful with it. You end up breaking a lot of it off. So it's terrible. Yeah. If I was black, I could just grease this stuff up and slide stuff through it and it'd be fine. But I'm not. Trim to my shoulders. You know how many years it's been since my hair has been to my shoulders? It's not happening. Don't need it. I just didn't have a hairbrush while I was in the hospital. That's all. But, and people always comment about my hair. So, I'm proud of that. But, I wish I could be able to condition it all the time like I used to. I love to do that. But yeah, so, anyway, it's finally we're starting to get a little breeze right now. Thank God. It's supposed to be a huge hurricane coming in. Everybody's been worrying me about that for the last couple days. Well, you know that hurricane? I'm like, oh, just great. And that's why the doctors, I think, were trying to balance me and keep me in there too, is to keep me out of that weather, because they didn't think it'd be a good thing. But when I get a chance, I'll go through my records and stuff. But apparently, there's nothing like lethal at this point, as far as my health goes. Thank God. I suppose. Never know. There's always surprises in life. But yeah. So, we survived that week in the hospital. Jesus. But I'm glad because, you know, I got to know that, like, I'm not dying tomorrow. That's a good thing. Well, I want to tell you, when I left, I drove by this big outdoor, like, Islam thing, whatever. I don't know what that is. And I wanted to pull over there so bad and just throw myself on that sucker. Just thanking the grace of God. That's all I wanted to do. And I didn't get a chance to do it. There's too much traffic because I was going to turn around and let that be the beginning of my day. Because it was right there. And I didn't have to go look for church. Yeah. So. Oh, Dixon should be on tonight on Whatnot. He's probably on right now. He'll just run a couple hours, you know. Dixon's Pickens. And he has, like, no personality. He's real serious, you know, just strictly business. And he sells. So you don't have to be, like, putting on Bugs Bunny ears and Donald Duck feet or any of that stupidity to sell on there. He's a real good example of just being an average Joe, and he's selling. He has what people want. So, yeah. It sounded like that van just drove over something over there. That's weird. Well, I wonder how long it's going to take me to get my hair sorted out. How many days? Ooh. But yeah, so we made another day today. It would be nice if it rains. It drops the temperature down about 10 degrees every time it rains. It's so nice for me. It sure is. My battery is really, really, really low. I would have liked it, brought it up in my room and charged it and stuff, but they wouldn't let me go to my car. Oh, my prescriptions, that's going to end up taking a week to get that crap. Trust me. If I get somebody to finance it, because I don't have the money. I do not have the money unless I get a bunch of people donating to my PayPal. Then I would have the money to go buy it. And I'd just soon buy it myself. Really, I would. I don't like to do all that government funding and crap. There's people that need it worse off than me. You know what I mean? I've always tried to stay away from the welfare and the food stamps and all stuff. I did welfare one time for 3 months in my life. I've done unemployment 2 times in my whole life for a very short time. I think it was like 1 month one time and 2 months the next time. I need it before a week. Well, I mean, you can't pull that crap out of the sky unless I get a bunch of people donating through PayPal or something, so I go buy it. You know, you have to put in for that stuff, and it takes time for them to prove it, and then they have to call it in, and then you have to go down to pick it up when they get it ready, and it takes up time when you go through those processes. I did it one time before. What was it for? I think it was the last emergency room visit I had, and yeah, it was, and it took like 3 weeks to get anything done. I thought it was a day. Sorry, no. When you go through those processes, applying through the churches or caring sharing or somebody that says they'll give you assistance, you know, it goes through their system. They have to get it approved by the board, and then they have to see how much the board will approve, and then they have to call the doctors to have it readjusted, you know, for a lesser amount or something like that, and of stuff, and so you only get like 1/4 of the prescription, and then, you know, when you start getting them jerking around with that, then the next problem is that now you've lost part of your prescription and stuff because they've modified it, and start doing the process. It depends if they're open. Most of that stuff is, you know, 1 or 2 days out of the week. Okay, and here we are at what, Tuesday? Yeah. Good luck. It should have been done on Monday. So, you know, it just depends. And the one church that I deal with, they're only open 1 day out of the month for any of that. And that day's already passed. It's not the 15th. So, because I talked to them yesterday, somebody that I know at the church called me. And they were like, nope, we will not be able to do anything for you until about the 15th. We'll call you then. So that's what it is. Yeah, all that stuff is regulated by the church and the pastor and all that kind of thing. So, but unless I get a bunch of people donating on my PayPal, then that will help me a lot, and I can just go buy it myself. Now, you got to bear in mind, a lot of this stuff's super expensive. Just like my asthma inhalers, you know, they're probably about $80 each now. You know, so you know, who knows? Maybe they're 100 now. I don't know. Don't have a clue. But I was hoping they'd issue me a machine, because you have to have a script for the machine and then get the tubes by the box. But didn't get to get that far. It's real hard to get a hold of these doctors after you've already seen them. It's like kind of a done deal. So I didn't even know if they would really do it or not. But I know the first doctor wanted to make sure to get me on my asthma medicine immediately. He had great concern with that. Hopefully somebody gives a donation. Yeah, or maybe a bunch of people for dollars. That would be really cool. So if they don't do it as gift, the problem is that they tax PayPal taxes it out as revenue. But if they put it as gift, that friends and family thing, then the PayPal won't tax it out. They won't deduct from it, from handling the money. That's the trick too. But yeah, so they're promoting PayPal a lot. They got commercials and stuff on TV now, which is neat. PayPal's pretty good. If you're ordering online, it's the easiest way to contest a bad sale, a purchase that you get and stuff. It's really good for that if you're buying stuff online. Yeah, or if somebody, I've had gas stations use my card after I left, and it'll come up like 2 in the morning. I'm like, what the hell? For stuff I didn't buy. You gotta watch these people that work there. They'll photograph your card. They'll try to re-enter your charge, and it comes right across my phone when my PayPal's being used. So when that sucker's banging away, 2 in the morning or some crap, I know it's some bogus crap. So yeah, and you just call them, and they're real good about straightening that out. It's not right away; it can take 2 days or a week, but they're pretty good about straightening that out. Yep. So yeah, but we will see. But I'm just glad that you know I know a majority about my health at this point. No new bad news or anything. Um, Glad I went when I did. I probably could have saved a lot if I'd gone days before because I just didn't have the guts to go because I didn't want to make another bill. But it's okay. So, um, you know, at least we're at this point. Feel crappy, but better than the day I went in. I just hope I keep getting better and don't have to go back in there because I get worse or something. Because if I have an option and I get the money and get everything caught up, I would like to try a shot with that that hip hop clothes and do a run on whatnot and see how it goes. For 150 pieces and see how it goes. Because if I can do that, and Dixon's not the only one selling that stuff. There's a lot of people selling like that. So it wouldn't be like I'd be stepping on his toes directly. It's just what's selling right now. So I get a chance, I would like to try that so that I don't have to keep stuff long tail. I don't want nothing to do with that long tail stuff. It's too much babysitting, too much work, too much storage. I got lots of stuff to sell. I really do. I get all listed and gone. That was a nice thing when I was working on the jobs. Is eBay would still run. So, I was getting two things accomplished at once. So, well, I get this hair straightened out. Whew. Just have to do it real slow. You rip it all to pieces. And it's really matted up. I got one big chunk in the back. It's huge. I feel like sheepdog back there. Oh. So I have to be patient with it, take my time, keep working on it. But yeah, so I would be in for something like that in the near future. But I gotta get caught up first. So, yepper. In the meantime, I'm marking stuff down like fire. because I have to. I look at stuff and go, God, this one jacket, is it worth discounting it just to pay for one storage? And I look at it and go, yes. You know what I mean? I got a frozen Coke. I've been dying for a Coke for days. Don't try to get one in the hospital. That's another thing they were doing. They kept bringing me diet stuff. I said, man, I don't drink stuff like that. It's bad for you. It gives you symptoms of multiple sclerosis, MS. Did you know that? Mm-hmm. And a friend of mine was way into that diet and everything. She gets diagnosed with MS. I said, there's no way. And then I told her, I said, if you get off that stupid damn diet crap, because those chemicals are doing it to you. And she was like, you think so? I'm like, yeah, I know so. I'm telling you. Your body's not designed to process those chemicals. You're better off eating damn sugar. You could eat brown sugar. But anyway, she got off of it, and do you know? All those thousands of dollars spent on doctors and everything. And I'm telling her life was over. She had MS. It went away. I'm telling you, don't drink diet stuff. Bad news. Now, they do make one product called Equal, and it's made out of banana peels. So it's natural. It's hard to find, though. And, like, you really need to race over here. What an idiot. But there's a new one that I've seen. It's called stevia, that they can grow in the fields. So now that would be natural instead of a chemical. And so I have to research that a little bit and see what the story is on that. That might be safe to use too. If you like stuff. That's what you drink diet. You're stupid. Do not drink diet crap. It is so bad for you. That was proven years ago, especially with saccharin. Oh my God, that pink one. The worst is what is it? Fat free. Now there's stupid right there. Any doctor will tell you that too. Fat free is plastic. Body's not designed to eat plastic. Okay. Fat free is stupid. One, it tastes terrible, and two, it's plastic. So don't fall for that either. Yeah, the best thing you can do is get off the diet garbage. Don't need it. Do not need it. It's not healthy for you. When you come up with symptoms of MS, and they're giving you all kinds of chemicals and paying doctors and all that other stuff, and your life is over because you've got MS, because you drink diet sodas, and all you have to do is get off of them, then you'll learn. Don't do it. This girl got off of them and her life is normal. Waste of money and nerves and everything else. It's just bad for you. You know, it goes back to the old saying, you are what you eat. So you better learn it. Yeah, I'm gonna research that stevia stuff because it's supposed to be like, grown in fields. I'm gonna research that and see what that is, and there's a lot of chemical process to it or anything, and see if it's worth the crap. But I do know that equals safe. So the aspartames, all that kind of stuff is garbage. It's chemicals. You don't need it. Don't need it. Yeah. And there's lots of other stuff that kill you too, but that stuff is really, really bad for you. And who wants to be diagnosed with MS? Nobody. No one. It's a horrible, horrible life. And a very short life. So don't do it. You're causing yourself more harm than good. If you want to be on a diet, go exercise, go to the gym. Eat better food. Don't eat trash. The biggest one is potato chips. I learned that when I was a kid. You see those girls with cottage cheese on the back of their legs? That's from potato chips, man. Sitting around, shoving potato chips down their throat. And you can't get rid of that crap. Oh, it's so hard to get rid of damn cellulite. And see, I never have cellulite because I don't eat damn potato chips. And I've probably eaten 5 bags of potato chips my whole entire lifetime. Don't have sugary drinks. Well, you drink juices with natural sugar in them. Juices with natural sugar in them. You have to be careful with all that stuff. Potato chips with salt, man, salt's hurting your heart. You know, salt's really bad for you. Um, the grease, fried stuff. So I don't eat all that kind of junk. You know, didn't do it when I was a kid either. But see, I was into the health home, man. I was pumping iron and stuff. I've always been active, roller skating across cities and towns and skateboarding. And even when I was growing up, I was still skating. I would skate to 3 different jobs, town to town to town, when I didn't have a car. That's right. It's better than taking a bus. It was a lot nicer than taking a bus, actually. I had my backpack and my skates. Piece of cake. Man, I remember when Tab was in, and that was 0 calories and all that crap. And then you'd eat like a tuna sandwich with it or some stupidity, and you're supposed to be losing weight and never lose the weight. And the stuff tasted like acid, like freaking acid, like pool acid. It not only tasted like candy, it just tasted like some damn chemical we poured down your throat. And you had to try to learn how to like it, you know. God, stuff was gross. They probably don't even make Tab anymore. It was in a pink can. God, the trashy stuff. Juices. It's much healthier for you. Natural juices. Read the label. Make sure it really has the real juice in it, not like an imitation. There's a lot of them like what. If you want to buy grape juice, you gotta look at like 6 different bottles to find one that says real grape juice in it. Because it'll be imitation flavoring, and that doesn't do you any good either. And try to follow the "you are what you eat" thing, because that stuff's just nothing but chemicals. The body's not designed for that. It isn't. You know, if you're fat, it's easier to go pump iron. You lose weight really fast, and you can eat anything you want. That's a bottom line. I'm gonna tell you, I did the running thing, bought the $100 shoes. I would run for miles, all that crap, and got it. I ate more than I ran. It was worthless, and it's hard on your bones. Very, very hard on your bones. Yep. I got a boss, a friend of mine, old boss friend of mine, that is going to have surgery on 2 knees and hip from working Walmart. Yep, for working Walmart because of concrete floors. Destroyed this person's body from the concrete floors. It's the shock on the bones. Doesn't that make you feel worth it to work Walmart? So that you can have all these terrible surgeries because you just eroded all your bones? You know? Yeah. Places like that should be paying for you to have special shoes for your work. They really should. But you know how it goes. Yeah. Read the ingredients and stuff. I've always been an ingredient reader my whole life. Ooh, I think I got most of the knots out. Oh, it's feeling bitter. I'll mess with it some more tomorrow and see where I'm at. But it's taken all day to try to get my hair straightened back out. So I don't have to cut it. Yay. But yeah, read all your ingredients labels on everything that you're eating and putting in your mouth, because it's really important. I would say that's really, my life. They commented on that in the hospital because, I drink a gallon of milk every single day of my life. Every single day of my life, I drink a gallon of milk. And they're like, whoa. And I'm like, yeah, that's the main part of my day is gallon of milk. I drink other stuff too, but gallon of milk every single day. Rule 1. Whole milk. We're not talking any baby milk. We're not talking any old people's milk. 1%, 2%, yeah. Whole milk. And I really like whole cream. I'll drink. If I'm really short of time, I will get a quart of cream, 100% cream, and drink it. Hmm. Yep. I like yogurt. I like cottage cheese, cheeses. I'm big on milk. My ex-husband used to tell me that milk will kill you. It's hard on you, on your health. And I'm like, well, I don't know. You have really bad health, and you rarely drink milk. And um, uh, it appears to me maybe you need to drink milk instead of tell people not to drink milk. Oh, you like to drink milk? Yeah, that's good. I have a kid that absolutely hates milk. Gets disgusted and aggravated if you even mention it. It's so funny because I can't imagine having anything related to me that wouldn't drink milk. You know what I mean? Because I mean, how could you live like that? You know, man, milk is everything. Milk is ice cream. You know, ice cream. Milk is everything. Shakes. You know, but um, yeah, they gave me all that damn diet. You know, that old people's milk in the hospital. I'm like, you guys don't have like real milk that has all the vitamins in it and everything. And they're like, no. And I was like, oh man, that's depressing. A whole hospital, a place for health, and they can't even have real milk. That's depressing. Yipper. So, uh, yeah, I've done it all these years. It's worked really well for me. And vitamins, I need more vitamins. So, man, there's one thing I didn't get to take vitamins this whole week because I was in the hospital and I have some in the car, I have some in my office, and I didn't get to take any vitamins all this week. I should have asked him for a vitamin shot or something. That would have been the thing to do. That would have been the thing to do. Was try to get a vitamin shot. You know, that would have been super cool. I wish I'd have asked them if they'd have done that. They loaded me with steroids this week, and I'm really against steroids. Don't like them. I'm not a fan of steroids. Bill West, my husband, would have told you the same thing. That's some bad crap. But sometimes they got to do it. And they had to do it on me. I think it's for the repairs. I think they're trying to repair. I can't remember what they said that was for. So I think that's one of my prescriptions too, some kind of steroid crap. But don't really have a choice. They prescribed it, and I don't want to have to go back there because I didn't take this stuff. I just hope it's not forever for life. 'Cause I will not take steroids for the rest of my life. It's not happening. But yeah, so out of that place, and I hope it doesn't get too hot. Got a little breeze now. It's getting a little more breezier, which is nice. Thank you very much. Hopefully it'll rain. And I got lots to do tomorrow. I always have lots to do, and not enough day hours to do it in. So it's not like I won't have anything to do. I've been working on eBay, marking stuff down, 24 hours a day, just going through and going through, going through. I've got about 1,200 ads. So I just keep going in there and bam, bam, bam. A bag of trash will sell on eBay for $1. So one way or another, stuff's got to sell. It's just a shame I just can't get like tons of it. Just crank it through, crank it through, crank it through. It takes 3 days for eBay to pay you on a sale. So that's the sad part. In the old days, you got paid instantly through PayPal. As soon as they ordered it, the money went. There it was. It was amazing. But yeah, so we're in quarter 4 now, which is the biggest part of the year. But it's really Deadsville for everybody. It's really strange. And I didn't think that Q4 was going to be real big this year. I really didn't. So that'd be okay. I did not have the feeling it was going to be the big winner. And I still believe that. So, But it should be better than what it's been doing because it's playing like it's summer slowdown still. It's just barely moving. But again, I've got my store on vacation mode to protect myself so I can ship in time. Um, but which really hurts. You know, it can. I really believe it hurts sales terrible. So, you know, I don't like to order from anybody. It's gonna take forever to ship. So they won't let you go 30 days anymore with sales. Let's go 30 days without sales, but I need the revenue. So they only let you go 14 or 15 days now with sales. So, yeah. But even any time at all when you do that, with a delay like that, it really hurts sales. I'll tell you that right off top. But, yeah, so we shall see. I guess that person's on the patio over there using their Wi-Fi. If you get on before they close, you can stay on the Wi-Fi. I'm gonna go over there after hours and plug my battery in. That's what I want to do. Charge it up. But yeah, so I don't know. Uh, I'm glad I made it this far. I'm glad I got pretty good news. I'm glad I didn't have anything fatal. I was kind of leery of that. I thought, boy, I don't go to doctors very often at all. Don't like them. Don't like hospitals. Don't like none of that. Don't like drugs. Um, but thank God I didn't get any really bad news. Oh, it takes a little while to get that jackery up. It's down real low right now. You know, it was down before I went to the hospital, real low. And that's how I can power fans or charge the phone. You know, because you want to make sure to have a live phone in the car. So that's my alarms in the mornings, so I'm up in time before the temperature changes and kills you. You only got so much time, and then the fans to try to keep the air circulating and try to keep it a little bit cool. It doesn't. It's not much, but the fans are super important, especially as sick as I've been, and then coming out of the hospital now. Now I have no heat and air. See, I've been living human for a week, and so it's going to be really hard tonight to try to adjust. When I was doing the shipping, I was doing it in the car and printing shipping labels and stuff. And I had all the windows down like halfway, and man, I was baking. And I had one of my fans plugged into my jackery, and I was baking. I was just soaking wet baking. You know, and it was late afternoon. You know, and all my other rechargeable fans, they're all dead. They all need to be charged. But I mean, if I could afford to go over there and buy their food over there, I would go buy a beverage for their $7, whatever the hell it is, and then just sit around and charge a jackery up for a few hours and all my fans and everything else, and just work on my eBay. I just don't have the money, so but because they're expensive over there. I could do it over at one of the restaurants. Hey, did you guys see the specials? They had that History Channel and they had commercials on there. That's all I played. Everything else was Deadsville. I was hoping to see Curse of Oak Island and didn't see not one. That was such a bummer. But they had all this other stuff that I watched. All the stuff about all the Mafia stuff. I learned a lot. Every single Mafia one, I watched that. And then they had, today was the good one. They had all the old, like the Mayan stuff and all that kind of stuff. I love stuff like that. I always did since I was a kid in school. And so I was watching that. But they had commercials about, if you ever heard of Panera Bread, the Panera Bread, they've, that guy's got illegal lights. He's got red and blue lights on the outside of whatever that vehicle is. Boy, that's going to be instant jail time there. You can't run those lights on a car like that. Hit them all over the outside like a dumbbell. Um, because they say it mimics law enforcement, so it's illegal to run that. But anyway, they've got some deal at the Panera Bread. There aren't many of those around, but I don't know if you got any where you're at. But Panera Bread, they had the commercials on there repeatedly of all these deals. They're like $7. Yeah, and then Chili's has also brought back all their El Cheapo stuff. Which that was really a cool thing way back. You know, when you could do like two people for $10 or something. Chili's is it brought back a lot of the cheaper deals, and probably because all this brick and mortar is dying. You know, the internet's really taken over. It really, really has. So I've been talking so long in my damn frozen Coke. I wanted so bad I got a jumbo, and it's like all melty. And I bought it to cool me down. But but yeah, I think these brick and mortar restaurants and stuff. I think a lot of this stuff's going to end. It's easier to run everything online. It's a very small production place, and then there'll be just a few mom and pop restaurants left because a lot of this stuff can't afford to function unless it's just all predominantly to go. Um, you know, the utilities alone on these dinner houses, you know, that utilities are horrendously high just to operate. And I know when Pat Robertson was live in the Sonics that he owned, you know, years ago, he'd fill up a bill and he'd show it to me when I come in his office because I used to drop by and say hi and visit with him for an hour or whatever when I got in town. We were very good friends. And he'd just come out of the blue and he'd go, do you know how much it cost me for gas to run this Sonic right here? Just in gas alone. I'm like, no. He'd show me a bill and it'd be like $3,000. And I said, for how many months? And he's like, one. And I'm like, $3,000? Now, this is in like the late 90s, early 2000s. Yeah. And I go, man, that's like really expensive. He's like, yeah. He said, it is just amazing. And then, you know, he would tell me about the water bill and all this other stuff. And just utilities alone to run these restaurants in brick and mortar is horrendous amounts of money. And then, of course, you've got to have payroll for people that work there. That's your next problem. Not even counting, you know, inventory and stock and all that. Oh, it's getting real windy now. Keep on blowing, man, because I don't want to be overheated tonight. So nice. It's almost like I'm parked right at the beachfront. But yeah, so they just put a law out in Okaloosa County I heard about today. I need to read it. You know, they're making boondocking really illegal anywhere, but it's because people abuse it. They want to trash people's parking lots of idiots. And they just passed a law in Okaloosa County. You can't boondock in business parking lots. Party's over. It's all done. So that they can arrest you and stuff just like they do anywhere else. Yep. So, it's kind of sad though because, you know, from the pandemic, a lot of people were put out. A lot. And it's not like you could just do whatever. You know, there's still people that are roughing it. Um, so that's a sad thing. Very sad. But, you know, the ones that trash the properties up are the ones that are the serious problem. These people that such idiots, you know, that come up and they're throwing their paper trash out and pouring the pee-pee out the door, and all their food trash is thrown all over the parking lot, letting their dogs poop in the grass, and they're supposed to be picking that up. You know, it's a $250 fine here if your dog poops in the grass and you don't pick it up. That's right. Well, I'm homeless too, you know. So, but I know where to go and what to do. There's just not a whole lot of places. I have permission where I go, but but these other people, that think they could just park wherever, it's all over with. You know, like this mall right here, you can't park in this mall. That was stopped a couple years ago. The owner went around, drove around with the corporate people and that, and said, "I want all this crap gone." And they enlisted the local sheriffs, and that's what they do. They go around banging on doors and windows and tow cars away and everything else. You will not stay overnight in this mall. It's not happening. That's a no negativo. That's right. It's all over with. But they made that law down in Panama. They did Panama and where else? Panama and Destin. They set that law back about 7 years ago, where you couldn't park on business property, public property, and boondock, or you'd be arrested. Yep, yep. I'll tell you, 90% of it's because people are trashing the damn property. Or that they want to set camp and park in the exact same parking spot all the time. And it's like their spot and da da da. And these businesses are tired of it. The worst was there was people that used to park right at the front of Walmart, at the sidewalk, okay? And they'd be like passed out in their car and stuff and everything. And it looks absolutely terrible. If you're a customer and you're walking by and you see these people all sprawled out like dudes in their underwears and crap, it does not look good, okay, for the business. It looks really trashy, and people don't get that in their head. They don't understand somebody's trying to run a business, you know, and then they want to play the music real loud, and they want to smoke dope, and they want to do this, and they want to do that, and all that, and it's disturbing the business, you know, and trash the parking lot. It disturbs the business. It does not look good. It's not your free house, you know. A lot of these people that want to buy these RVs and these travel vans and all that, and it's like, now you're real obvious if you have an RV or travel van, because then they know you're boondocking. You can kind of hide in the car if you're real, low key, and it's not as noticeable. Um, but they don't want you in their parking lots, you know. And to find places to rent with, a schoolie or a travel van, and even sometimes with a RV, it's real expensive. I mean, if you're lucky, you can get a $45 a night RV spot if you're lucky. But it's the reason Destin outlawed it is because they wanted the tourism to go by from the places that have RV parking and keep people from parking in public parking lots. And they were trying to benefit the people that had parking that were trying to make a living on it. And that's why Destin did it. So, and I think it's great because those people deserve that. They have those businesses. And people shouldn't be like, if you want to take a vacation, you can afford a damn RV. You can afford that fuel, like $600 a tank to fill it every time. Then you should be able to afford a place to park the sucker. You should be making reservations, know where you're going, be able to afford the parking. Honestly, it's probably better to just get a hotel. You're going to spend that kind of money. Unless you got some really great resort you're going to that you're going to park that thing at. I mean, RVs are beautiful, but they're better just to live in than to travel. They used to rent them out there in Defunct, and when my youngest child was a baby, George and I had considered going to rent one at one point, temporarily till we got a house, and they wanted $600 a month, which was a little pricey then, but there was everything there. Okay, there was like a payphone on the property, plus we had our phones. And then they had a little like, onboard grocery store there, and a recreation room, showers, washateria, and it wasn't a real big, huge place, but it was more kind of resorty like, swimming pool, and 600 a month. Yeah, and for a nice size RV, and it was real pretty too. And we considered doing that. Plus, you have your own parking for the car, so nobody's parking around you. You park there. But we almost did that. Uh, um, but I don't know what it runs today. I'm sure it's much higher today. But yeah. So um, that's why they did that. They wanted to try to benefit the people that are in business for that, and I think that's great. Because it gets old, man, when you go to Walmart and you got all these damn RVs parked up by the door because they're idiots. So they take up 10, 15 spots each by the front door instead of parking in the back 40 like they should do, so that customers can park there. And they drain all the crap in the parking lot and all that kind of stuff. They're nasty. You understand? There's laws about that. You can't let stuff drain and open all their damn bedrooms out and all this stuff. You're not supposed to do all that. The worst thing you can do in those parking lots is set that levelizer, and it puts holes in the parking lots. It's because asphalt's expensive and they don't do it very thick, and it destroys the damn parking lot so badly. It's where you get all those big holes. It's from heavy stuff. Levelizing those RVs and tractor trailers driving through. Ruined damn parking lot. hmm So, hmm but anyway, well, it's been a slice of heaven, you guys. Um, I gotta get marking down some more stuff, and I got those 2 orders shipped out, so I re-extended the vacation time on my store, so I got a little bit more time to buy. Yay! But we gotta try to get some serious, serious sales going. You know, like I say, I got 35K in stock right now on eBay. If I can pull a grand or two out of it immediately, it would be real nice. But like I say, a bag of trash will sell for $1 on eBay, so it'll sell for something, some way, somehow. I just sacrifice. I'm not making any profit at this point, um, at all. But gotta do what I gotta do. And a lot of this stuff can't be run on Whatnot. It's just not gonna happen. Whatnot, kind of starts at the dollar spot, and that stuff just doesn't work. Even though I did attempt that several times. Um, it's just and I used to say it was 60 cents if you sell something for $1 on Whatnot. No, it's 49. 49 cents if you sell something for $1 on Whatnot. That's all you get paid. 49 cents. So I was on there like when they first opened it. So it's changed. They've raised their fees a little bit, but it's still cheaper than eBay. And the nice thing about it is you don't have to worry about the ship price and all that stuff because we just set the weight and Whatnot handles the rest. We just print that stuff out and ship it. We don't deal with any of that. So you're just working at what you're selling it for. Okay? That's all you have to be really concerned with is what you were selling it for. So you can figure your profits and losses right there. So it's a little simpler system. You know. Less stuff to worry about. But anyway, I got to do my taxes because I extended them. I've got to do those this next coming month. I've got to pay a CPA to do that to see if I got to pay or not or what. Because I imagined I would have to pay, but I might not have to. I don't know crap about too much in taxes, so I have to pay a CPA to handle it. But I made some pretty good money the last year for a majority of the year, but not the whole year, working for other people. So I'm concerned about that and make sure that that's taken care of so I don't have any debt. So I don't know. And I got plenty to tax write off from eBay, but I don't think that will go towards my normal payroll working for the people. So anyway, I'm so glad to talk to you guys, and we got a fresh day here. It's still staying pretty windy. That's nice. I'm so glad. Apparently the storm's supposed to come through like Thursday, so a lot of stuff will be shut down. They ran out of gas today apparently, and at a lot of places, and then out of batteries and all that stuff, because people are going to buy the water, the batteries, and the candles. So if it's around you, make sure to get gas in time, just in case. You never know. Usually it takes a turn at the last second, and you'll be safe. But I don't worry till it gets about 20 miles from the ground. Then I start to worry, because it usually always takes a turn. So yeah, I wouldn't be here if it was a constant risk. I just wouldn't. Okay? So don't think I'm that dumb, because I'm not. You know what I mean? Now, mid-Florida and lower Florida, they're pretty risky, but this is upper Florida. It's not quite as bad. Even though the ocean's right here, but still, you've got to watch the storm, the way it's tracking and stuff. When it gets close enough to ground, that's when you got to be concerned. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. I love you. And we will see you in the next one. Thanks for hanging out. You can look in the description box if you want to tip me or donate. My PayPal's in there. And otherwise, you can jump on that old eBay machine and make a purchase on there if you wish. But shipping's a little bit delayed right now. But you'll still get it, I guarantee you. And anyway, I hope you guys have a really wonderful and blessed day tomorrow. Every day's a blessing when you wake up, that's for sure. Have a blessed and profitable day tomorrow. Always make a new friend every day. Do some kind for a stranger. Love everybody. And too much of a good thing is wonderful, and we'll see you in the next one. I love you guys. And sorry about if you got to watch bat wings because it wouldn't go on the horizontal. I don't know what's wrong with YouTube. Anyway, I love you. Thanks for hanging out with me. It's sure good to see you guys.